So those of you in the media know me hosting the morning call with Alex Steele, being a real money pro on the street with the chief strategist at T3 Live. But what I was this weekend was just a normal citizen stranded in what could have been a horrendous situation. Everyone's talking about the tragedies that have been going on around the country. I was at a wedding in Vermont. I was in this small, beautiful town called Pittsfield, where my cousin Mark put together the most beautiful wedding underneath the sun. And this was Saturday. Wedding went off without a hitch. They had a beautiful sun. They were under the chuppah. They walked down the aisle. And then, Sunday, it turned into a situation that everyone wasn't expecting, that Vermont would be one of the hardest hit towns. So at this particular point, everyone had to make their own split decision on how to act and how to protect their family, because everyone was in a lot of different situations. Some people were there, like myself. I was with my mom, my dad, my wife, and my son. Some were there, like the groom's dad was there with his mother, and she was 80 years old. And then there were people who were just there with their significant other. So everyone had to make a decision on what they were going to do, whether they were going to travel or stay. So fast forward, roads were collapsed, houses were destroyed, and this town came together to work through it. The story here is that they came together after the fact. They had a town hall meeting, and they all collected their heads together and said what needed to be done to survive, for the people who lost their homes, for the people that had to stay there thereafter, for the trapped guests like myself. And everyone pitched in, and it was no longer that we were the wedding guests. We were a part of the community, and that community came together. The individuals at Riverside, Joe, DeSena, and Courtney, and everyone just said, what are we gonna do to accommodate the people from out of town and rebuild our town? They need continued support. It can't just be the exciting story of the day and then we move on. These people are now homeless, some of them have lost some loved ones, because in the next few days thereafter, not in that particular town, town workers who were trying to survey different areas got sucked under. So this is a situation that's very, I would say, it's still going there for that every day. There's a big story. Everyone wants to cover their own story. There's a big story at Wall Street. Trader helicopters his family and 12 people out of harm's way, takes control. That's not what happened. I have my mom that needed some medication. My son's 3 years old. My situation was I needed to use my resources, get a helicopter and leave. Some other people decided to do the same thing. The guy that gave me the helicopter, he was very cool about it. He gave a reasonable price. He didn't gouge everyone like some of the other quotes people were getting, and people who needed to take care of some of their elderly or their kids or their family left. And now Mark and the rest of the people that are helping out within the town, they don't want to be a burden to the town, because you have a town of 400 people, and if you have people in there using their resources, using their water, their food, it's just a drain. So everyone's trying to get out of there. But once we're all out of there, they're still there, and they're the ones who are gonna have to rebuild. We still need, FEMA, you need the state and local governments to continue to rebuild, give them support, even when it doesn't become, the exciting story, and it only becomes something that was covered. And if people just work together more, like this town in Pittsfield, Vermont did, I think the United States as a whole would be a better place.